Who said AI can't replace people? Then what about all the layoffs over the past 23 years? Millions of jobs have been lost, mostly in the tech industry. Why did that happen? It's because the tech industry adapted by using AI, right? And when I read the news about millions of people losing their jobs in tech, I honestly didn't feel much about it at the time. But now, even the media and journalism industries, AI has arrived there too. And what's more, in Thailand, Natha has already made her debut. Let's take a look first. This is Natha. She's the new beautiful female news anchor who is actually an AI. She's not human. Right now, she still looks a bit stiff, but I believe that in just a few years, or maybe even by the end of this year, she might be able to read the news more skillfully, more smoothly, and look even cuter and more charming. If you look at countries like China and India, for example, let's start with China. Wow, look at this lady. She's an AI too. She looks so real. And then there's another one in India. Wow, she's wearing a sari. Let's hear her speak for a bit. Akilo TV, the first, look at her eyes. There's no malice, no jealousy, nothing like that. Maine, what? That's right. So I have an example of an employee, 1 in a million. Her name is Bree. Pox. She was a former employee at a company called Cafe, which is also a tech company in America. She actually recorded herself live when HR called to tell her she didn't pass the evaluation and was being laid off. Basically, she was let go. She said that, honestly, working in tech at a tech company was her dream job. She thought that after Cafe, she wanted to move up, maybe go to Microsoft or something like that. But now she feels like that dream is probably going to be really hard to achieve because the company... Nowadays, companies are starting to not want to use human labor as much and would rather use AI, right? Because they're adapting. She listened to what HR said, and she said it felt really awful when HR called to tell her she didn't pass the evaluation. Even though she wasn't lazy, she didn't slack off, she didn't fall asleep at work, and she didn't break any company rules. And HR didn't really give her any reason beyond just saying she didn't pass the evaluation. She knew very well that the reason she had to leave was because the company saw something better than her to replace her, even though it wasn't even a human. It was AI. See, she was sitting there with tears in her eyes. Honestly, right now, the situation is that anyone could lose their job. So saving enough money to get by when you're out of work, at least for 4 months, that's the minimum. 6 or 8 months would be even safer. You really need to have it. You need to save up. I'm telling you, the stories of employees losing their jobs over the past 23 years, ever since AI started coming in, it was big news, but it only made it to the headlines. That's all there was to it. Because the world isn't run by small people. The world is run by big corporations. And those headlines about people losing their jobs get overshadowed by something even bigger. The massive amounts of money and capital in the stock market, especially in the NASDAQ, which has grown a lot. The S&P 500 just last year, even though the global economy wasn't doing that well, still managed to go up by 25%. The main reason for that increase, honestly, comes from the tech stocks, the so-called Magnificent Seven tech companies. Microsoft is number 1, then Apple, Nvidia, and so on. Amazon too. It's like the S&P has 500 employees representing 500 companies, but only these 7 companies actually generated the main profits last year. These 7 companies alone contributed almost 70% of the S&P 500's total earnings. So if you ask, so if anyone's interested in tech stocks, the thing is, tech stocks actually have pretty solid fundamentals backing them up, like AI and advancements in chip technology and all that, right? So it might still have room to grow, but I'm not telling you to buy or invest. If anyone wants to buy, you really need to do your own research. I just want to mention that I use this one app, Dime, and it's actually pretty good. With Dime, even if you don't buy anything and just deposit your money, you get a high interest rate. If you deposit less than 10,000 baht, you get 3% interest. And I think there's a new campaign where you can get 5%, but I'm not sure. And if you want to buy stocks or invest in foreign funds, you can do it through Dime too. Plus, they waive the transaction fee once a month. That's actually pretty good. Not bad at all. But let's get back to the topic of layoffs. In the past, whenever a company laid off a lot of employees, it usually meant that the company was having financial problems or management issues, like, is the boss not good? Why are so many employees leaving? But today, when tech companies lay off a large number of people, it actually means that they are evolving for this new era of AI. For big companies, when laying off staff, stock prices soar. For example, Amazon laid off 1.6 million people and their stock went up 81%. Meta, formerly Facebook, laid off 72,000 people and their stock rose 194%. Google laid off a total of 157,000 people and their stock went up by 58%. Microsoft let go of 181,000 employees and their stock rose by 56%. And Apple laid off as many as 164,000 people and their stock increased by 49%. See, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. When employees get laid off, it's no big deal because the company, the shareholders, and the CEO all get richer. And let me tell you, when AI comes in and changes all kinds of human jobs, that's called AI disruption. The AI disruption that's happening right now, this is just the beginning, because when you look at all the technological disruptions throughout human history, there has never been anything quite like this. For example, back when we first got tractors, engine-powered tractors, farmers protested, right? They said, hey, if there are tractors, what work will I have left to do? I'll be out of a job. But what actually happened was the tractor actually allowed us to produce more agricultural goods, which created more jobs, brought in more money, and improved the economy. The tractor was just a new tool, that's all. Or, to get a bit more complex, think about when humans got computers, right? When computers came along, it was like there were conveniences that made our lives easier. But even though computers are smart and can do all sorts of things, they still need us to operate them before they can work. They're just another new convenience in our lives. Or, if we're talking about industry disruption, like when online technology disrupted the media and entertainment industries, that was a huge shock at the time. I remember it well because I used to work at Channel 3 back then. I always felt walking into the Channel 3 building, it felt so stable and unshakable. But when online disruption happened, major TV channels, newspapers, and magazines saw their roles diminished as online media took over. But it's really just a new platform. Online is just a new platform. People who worked in traditional media and offline media, if they adapt, it's just a matter of moving from offline to online. Writers from offline can write online. Offline photographers can become online photographers. Offline graphic designers can become online graphic designers. News anchors from offline can become online news anchors. So basically, everyone still has a job. They're just changing the space, right? But the technological disruption happening today is different because AI is like another species of living being, another kind entirely that has emerged with intelligence on par with humans. This has never happened before. Humans have always been the only species on Earth with this level of intelligence, but now we've created another species with our own hands, giving it intelligence equal to and potentially greater than our own. Because AI can work without needing people. In those positions, you might not need people anymore. For example, let's start with something light. Say you want to make a video clip, an animation. You can just go into, say, Canva, go to the elements, and type in something like Einstein. Einstein, who passed away a long time ago, that's right, Einstein talking to a dog and a cat. Wait 2 minutes, and then this comes out. You don't need a single graphic designer, right? And what if one day ChatGPT gets really, really good, right? It could write really good articles, It could write fun articles, deep articles, and even imitate the writing style of any talented writer, all without needing a writer at all. Or look at this. President Vladimir Putin is watching himself being cloned by an AI deepfake program. It looks so real. Even Putin himself is confused. So do you really think there won't be people like this one day? Yeah, using tricks that could make this deepfake order a nuclear strike without even needing Putin. Or even, how would we even know? You don't even need a person. There's another AI that clones itself into a deepfake and then uses that to trick other humans. The whole process from start to finish could be done without any humans at all. AI right now, even ChatGPT has a physical form because Figure AI teamed up with ChatGPT, right? They made Figure 01, which is the body for ChatGPT that I mentioned before. And Figure 01 can learn, do all sorts of things, interact, talk, and even pick things up. It can even hand things to people now. In the future, it could even sit there and create another AI itself, which is totally possible. Even in Hollywood, there have been protests because now AI can generate actors who look and sound just like real actors to appear in scenes without needing the actors. Or, like I showed you at the beginning, AI news anchors are here now, right? You can just feed them scripts or lines and have them say whatever you want. Even though right now they might still sound a bit stiff, pretty soon they might be able to speak just like I do now. That means you wouldn't even need real news anchors anymore, right? This example shows that this AI disruption is different from other technology disruptions because it can actually replace or take the place of humans entirely. Of course, big companies always say that AI won't replace humans. They say it's here to make things more convenient, to help with tasks we don't want to do, or to take care of the boring jobs for us. But the kind of work they're talking about, the definition of what counts as boring work or work that humans don't want to do, at the end of the day, it's still work. It's something that can provide for our lives, for us humans, in so many ways. Not everyone has super high-level skills in coding or can develop AI to that extent. But even starting to learn is not exactly a quick process either. And this year, we are still seeing a year of layoffs in other industries, and it is not just happening in tech. For example, the media and news industry. This year has seen a massive wave of layoffs in media. For example, outlets like Fox, Times, NBC, CBS, The Wall Street Journal, and many more. Some of them have laid off up to 20% of their staff. And if you look at this graph, it shows that the number of people laid off in the news and media industry has skyrocketed over the past year, both news and. If you combine the news and entertainment industries, a total of 25,000 people have been laid off. So hold on tight, manage your finances carefully, and make sure to save up for emergencies. Don't be extravagant just yet. Love. Thank you for following along.